Hey everyone, this is Alex, one of the Faith Formation leaders, and in this video today I have a special guest, Baby Yoda, or how some people call him, the child. And today in this video we're going to be talking about how you can read the Bible. Now, my little way that I read the Bible is that I have it split up into 3 different sections, and each section I'll cover separately in a video, and so in this video I'll focus on the first section. Baby Yoda, would you like to say what the 3 sections are?
The 3 sections are observation, interpretation, and application.
Thank you, Baby Yoda. So, like you said, observation, interpretation, and application. Or I just narrow it down to the first letters, O-I-A. And so in today's video, we'll be going over observation. Now, what I mean by observation is that we're going to look at the chapters and the books of the Bible as a whole. And we're going to ask who wrote them, why they wrote them, where they wrote them, because trying to figure out all these things helps us then learn how to interpret what the message of that book in Scripture is trying to say. And so, for example, in these videos, I'm going to be going through Ephesians and how we can observe it, interpret it, and apply it. And so, with Ephesians and observation, we can ask who wrote it. Well, the author of Ephesians is Paul, and he wrote this while he was in jail. He wrote this letter to the people of Ephesus. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but the people were called the Ephesians. And so that's where the name of this book comes from. And so we can then move on to an observation, maybe why Paul was writing this letter. And he was writing this letter to the Ephesians for a few different reasons. He wanted to explain a few different ideas and what it means to be a Christian. And so one of the things that Paul was trying to explain to the Ephesians was that we are all saved by God. That was one thing that Paul was trying to get across. Another thing he was trying to get across is that we are all united together under God. So, as Christians, we are all joined together because we all follow the same God. And a third thing that Paul was trying to get across is that we must be made anew. And so, what that means is that we just follow our lives, live our lives for God. And so that means changing how we live our life. We want to live it for God, so that may include cutting out the bad portions of our life and trying to steer away from that sin and instead follow God, who wants us to live our life for Him, and in the end have it so that we live a better life for ourselves as well. And so that's some of the things that I like to look at before I try to interpret what the Bible is saying. Now, you may be asking, well, how can I figure out who wrote it, where they wrote it, why they wrote it? There are a few different ways that you can go about doing that. For one thing that I like to do is that I have a study Bible. And so what that means is that I have a Bible where before every book of the Bible, it has an kind of like an author description and then kind of what the overall themes are for that book, which give a good idea on who wrote it and why they wrote it. And so that's one way. Another way is that you can talk to your pastor. Most pastors are very well educated, or at least should be well educated, in books of the Bible, so they may be able to help lead you to why this book was written and who wrote it. And then, of course, another way that you can figure out these things is just by trying to search it up in Google and finding reliable sources that help explain these things. And so those are just some of the things that I try to do to understand those questions in observation. And for interpreting the Bible, that will be in a future video in the week. So make sure you stay tuned to watch that so that we can all learn together how we can read the Bible and understand its message. And of course, importantly, how we can apply that message into our own lives. And so this is Alex and Baby Yoda signing off and hoping you have a fantastic
Goodbye,